Right, today on Dreadysays we are actually going to be winging it and using terrible puns throughout. Winging it in two ways. One, we've got a wing. I'm winging it because I've not done it before. Watched half a video, so what could go wrong? So what we've got here is the Ozone Wasp. It's the V1, it's the older one, it's a 4-metre wing. I've got the adapter so a sup pump can be used with it, and this is a fin bolt for the wifey's board. So this is what we came here for. Now, coming from a kiting background, what surprises me is how small the bags are. That's awesome. It's all pretty straightforward. It's not a backpack per se, it's more of a sling pack. Pump handle. Good one, Ozone. Bottle opener, that'll go in the van. Wind range, not enough, but we're going to try it anyway. It's a little breezy, it's about 10 mile an hour. Make a note of how this goes back in. Right, we get a manual, little sandbag, useful for inflating on the beach. Wrist leash. And the wing. Right then, let's get it where there's a little bit more room, start inflating it and have a look at it. Right, well here we are. Let's inflate it. So, I also got this red paddle pump multi-adapter set so I can use my sup pump, because I will be trying this first time on a sup. Let's try again. Right, back in. Yeah, the red paddle multi-adapter. So, because this uses a standard bayonet type, I'll show you down here. And it's standard bayonet, so I think it's this one. Right, let's give it a go. In here it's quite straightforward. Inflate top, deflate bottom. So to deflate, just taking the bottom off. And to inflate, just take the top off. Right, let's pump her up. Quite straightforward. Now it says 7 psi. Double action. Yep. Now the good thing with these wings is they're not going to take much air. I should put the leash on really, in case it does try and go somewhere. Getting a hiss. It's not a good sign. So the hiss was coming from the pump, luckily. And now for a quick update. So I contacted Ozone, asked them if they knew what was going on. It wasn't the pump. You see here, this ringed area, that is like a valve that connects the leading edge of the wing to the center strut.
That hiss is actually air coming through into the centre strut. Totally normal, nothing to worry about. Let's crack on. It's all done. Make sure that's tight. Flop the Velcro over. Job done. Right, so we're just going to practice with it on dry land for now. Just see if we get the depower. Practice luffing it, powering it up, powering it down. Strap on. That's only a light breeze, only about 10 miles an hour. So it should be enough to at least get a little bit in the wing. So the depower works, just holding on to the front, means there's enough wind to use it. You've got all the handles down here for how much power you want. So the further back you are, the more it opens the wing out. Further forward, it's going to depower it. You see it just sitting there now. And then that'll open it up. So the wind's coming directly behind the camera. It's going to be a long road to do it on a board, but initial tests, all right. Much easier than kite surfing. And to deflate, easy as that. Right, we're going to try it on the water in a bit. Hopefully the wind will swing round a little bit because it's offshore at the minute. I don't want to be trying to learn in offshore, but I will have my paddle with me, so if it does all go wrong, it's quite straightforward. Ditch the kite in the water, paddle back, or deflate it, roll it up, paddle back. What could go wrong? Alright guys, take care. Here we are, by the sea. Let's give it a go. 10'6" composite hardboard, 10 miles an hour, mostly offshore wind. You might have noticed back there was a lifeguard. I did speak to them before I went out. This is not advisable in offshore winds unless you know the conditions, know your limits. Generally, don't go out in offshore. I wasn't going too far. I knew how to self-rescue. I knew I could get back, but I did tell them what I was doing. I had a phone with me. Basically, just read the conditions. So I started off just on my knees, just getting a feel for it. A little bit of a wobble, and in we go. So all that happened there, I hadn't rotated round enough, so it just pushed me off the back. No biggie. So now I'm trying to turn the board and try and get upwind, and it's just simply not happening. Okay, having a bit of a stand up. You can see the footage is a bit foggy. GoPro Hero 9, don't buy them. Video for another time. So gently, and up we get. Just in a parallel stance, there wasn't enough wind for me to go in a more surf style. I did have my back foot slightly further back, just so I had that balance backwards and forwards. Desperately trying to get upwind. It's not happening. I had my fin all the way forward in the fin box to try and let me get a bit of manoeuvrability, but it's not happening. Here I am, once again, trying to make it back. It's not happening. So I'm going to bring the wing down into the water, flip it over and self-rescue. There are two ways of doing this. One, obviously, deflate it, pack it away. The bag is in my dry bag there. But this, I flip it over, keep the leash on, put it on the back of the boards, hook my feet over it and just paddle in. Now I do have to add, I'm not a qualified water sports instructor. Everything that I'm doing here and all the tips and advice, it's all to be taken at your own risk, and I do recommend getting some lessons before you go out. I am an extremely experienced kite surfer, general wind sports enthusiast and paddleboarder, but make sure you're comfortable, you're confident, you practice on dry land, and ideally get some lessons beforehand. So in conclusion, just me getting washed up on the beach here, it's the version 1 of the wing. I have since tried the version 2. It is slightly better upwind, but if you're looking at getting into it, these are a great starter wing. They're coming down in price now, which is really handy, and they're just easier to handle than a kite. So, you know, if you are kite surfing, you've got the lines to worry about, you've got everything else. Basically, these wings, really easy to work with, really easy to use, packed down into a tiny little bag, and it's just thumbs up all round. Okay, the next actual feature is going to be me using a land board, a mountain board, out in the countryside, and see how I get on. Okay guys, take care, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, I'll catch you for the next one.